We ball.
All right, so yeah, so this is the first one. We're doing the first one, guys.
The first one of whatever the fuck it's called.
This is the first one. This is the first son of the first son.
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll get to the seventh son.
Yeah.
And then you'll shoot me for making bad jokes.
Should we talk about Iron Maiden on episode 7 just to do seventh son of a seventh son jokes for it?
I mean...
The seventh one of the seventh one?
Yeah, the seventh one of seventh one. Or the 49th episode, because that's the seventh episode of 7 episodes. Maybe.
No, that's way better. Yeah. Ooh, I'm liking the skull that's appearing here.
Oh, yeah, man. We're fucking rocking and rolling. Oh, yeah.
I've just thought of the fact that I haven't started recording, so maybe I ought to do that as well.
I mean, you're coming in on my end. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll fix it in post.
I'm recording the greatest art ever put to canvas right now, so this is the one we're gonna use.
This ought to be our logo for the rest of time.
Oh yeah.
Is that hand gonna just stay open? Also, I'm not criticizing, by the way.
I am imagining. That bone got weird. I am imagining that this is like the back of a hand.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean open like the wrist.
Oh,
like the wrist goes to nowhere.
I cast Mage Hand. You didn't see it because we weren't recording. Because we weren't recording, nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing does happen while recordings.
We only exist.
Are not underway.
Recording. All right. So
why is that one so large? The other one's so small.
You gotta have variety.
Oh my lord!
You need a nose, a little schnoz.
Oh, dude, it's also just occurred to me that Isaac could randomly join this call and just be here.
Said could.
Then he'll just be part of the lore if he does.
Exactly, it's part of the lore. Part of the lore of the worst podcast ever recorded.
I don't even think that is true already.
True.
I mean, men with microphones have done horrible things.
This is true.
Yeah, people talk about stupid shit on podcasts, and we're about to talk about metal.
True.
Which I swear we are about to talk about metal. This is just a little fingernails materializing before my eyes. My God. I didn't think it was going to get more detailed. I wasn't ready for this.
We got a whole podcast for me to put my vision down.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious also, is this thumb, is that just a really tiny thumb, or is it like folded forward in your head?
It's like wrapping around, kind of. I don't know how, because like, if I were to do that with my hand, my thumb like kind of hooks up a little bit, so it's like you would see the tip of it. Maybe it's a bit of an amputee. That's just a nub. It's a good nub.
Yeah, I'm also looking at my hand right now, trying to make it work.
I'm also limiting myself to I don't get to erase. So any fuck ups, we're living in that.
So actually wait. So this will be the thumbnail for the upload. By the way, that's what we'll do.
Perfect. The finished product, that'll be the thumbnail. Yeah, exactly.
It's genius.
Yeah. It's
people get to see the thumbnail materialize before their very eyes.
Yeah. Fuck it.
If you're into that sort of thing.
If you're listening, you probably are.
We got to make some royalty-free metal tracks to put in the back of this also.
True. I imagine.
Could we just use Trey's black metal music? Do you think he would copyright strike us?
I mean, getting into a beef with a black metal band sounds like a pretty fucking great way to start our podcast career.
That sounds pretty metal, actually, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say no. I just want to see what he'll do if he finds out. We just never tell him.
Yeah, if we just have his entire first album playing in the background of this as we go. I don't think he'll ever find out, is the thing.
Yeah, probably not.
Or maybe he will. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah.
If we get there. Or we could finally record some tracks.
True.
Eventually. I was singing along to Don Dokken Up from the Ashes today and thinking, I am literally him.
Hell yeah.
Because I am literally him.
I am
Don Dokken, actually. Nice to meet you.
trapped in 6 hours of phone calls, so I couldn't actually listen to any of our homework for tonight's episode.
Oh, excellent. Well, I listened for the both of us. Although it's probably pretty important that you have heard the Running Wild album that we're going to talk about.
I did get through the Running Wild album. I didn't listen to as much as I wanted to. I got through a full listen of the Running Wild album between my drive to work and my drive back from work. But I really wanted to listen to it more than just 1.5 times, because I had it on shuffle the first time, so.
Got you. And
what I had listened to, but
you've obviously heard all of No Smoke Without Fire a million times, so you don't even need a refresher on that one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you prepare an Anthem fun fact for me?
Oh, fuck me, an Anthem fun fact. We hit record before I could do that. So.
It's all good. I'm sure you'll think of one.
Yeah, I mean, Anthem. So the albums we're talking about tonight, I have selected Anthem's "No Smoke Without Fire," Japanese heavy metal band released in I think it was 1990. Maybe 89.
No, it was okay. So it's 89, but Spotify says 90. We talked about that yesterday.
True, we did. Gabe, what is the album that you have picked for tonight?
That's Under Jolly Roger by Running Wild, released in 1987. I do have a fun fact for you about that album and the band in question.
Please tell.
All right, so this band started out as like every other traditional heavy metal band, right? They started making music about Satan because that's what's cool and that's what's going to make you a popular heavy metal band, right? So they had some really like generic satanic themes, and then their original guitarist named Gerald Preacher Varnick, he left the band after that first album, and then he left to study theology, and now he's a pastor. Fun fact. That's the fun fact. But the band also continued with their generic Satan-themed music for their second album until finally realizing that pirates are way cooler than demons, and then they released Under Jolly Roger in 87. Yeah, they didn't actually say that. I'm paraphrasing, but I think pirates are cooler, me personally.
Oh, yeah, I agree. 100%.
But this was from a time before pirates were cool. True. That's the part that needs to be stated. Pirates didn't become cool in pop culture until Pirates of the Caribbean came out and Jack Sparrow made pirates cool. Like, the pirates were the lamest thing in existence. A heavy metal band being like, yeah, we're going to talk about pirates now. Gosh.
But hey, it fucking worked.
Oh, it worked. Oh, boy, did it. It should have shot them in the foot, but it did not. And I think a lot of it is down to that fucking album art. My God.
Yeah.
The album art for Under Jolly Roger is some of the best. Yeah. And it has embedded in the album art is a giant sticker labeled "Warning, Loud Sound Effects," which is fantastic. Very German. Very, very German.
Something, or you had talked about, the devil worship of the Running Wild reminded me of the one fun fact of Anthem. So there's a manga and anime series called Devilman, and Anthem actually contributed a couple songs to one of the, I think it was it was like a direct-to-TV movie or an OVA that came out in the 80s, or it has to be the 80s because they made the fucking song in the 80s. It was, I think, Show Must Go On. I think that was off of, is that off of Bound to Break? Yeah, Bound to Break. Not the album we're talking about tonight, but another Anthem album. Don't have much fun facts about No Smoke Without Fire. It has the 20th anniversary, or 25th anniversary, I should say, release has the only recorded Anthem song with Hideaki Nakama as the instrumental track ADD at the very end.
Oh yeah, and that one, I made a note about that one later.
It's
a damn good song.
It's fucking great.
That's a cool instrumental track. It's atmospheric as hell.
The cock tease of the album we never got. It's like, I love Akio Shimizu. I love Hiroya Fukuda. They were both phenomenal. But there was a brief moment, because this was the final album with the original guitarist of the band, Hiroya Fukuda. He left after recording so he didn't really tour on this album, as far as I know. There may have been like a show or so in between, but Hideaki Nakama, basically a Yngwie clone that Japan seems to grow on trees. Not to say that his skills are anything lacking. He's phenomenal, but
Yeah.
very much in the vein of Yngwie with the neoclassical noodly. They picked up him for the touring schedule, and they released a instrumental track for one of the singles, I think, leading up to the release of the album, or maybe immediately afterward. I forget the timeline there, but it's a great track. It's very like you said, it's very atmospheric. It feels like I'm on the streets of Blade Runner with Deckard, just in the fucking rain of cyberpunk Los Angeles. Like, it's great. Love that shit.
What's interesting? So I'll start talking about the album actually because I did write some notes about it. So we'll just get into that part now. The fucking opening track, Shadow Walk, hits like a truck immediately. With the guitars right off the bat, which I think is good. That's Anthem loves that.
Oh,
they like not beating around the bush and just getting right into the music. But I almost wonder if putting ADD as the first track would have been a good idea to have like a little intro instrumental build up into then the punch in the face that is Shadow Walk. What do you think?
I think it could have worked. I think most bands would have done that.
I agree. That's why we love Anthem.
True, but I one of the things I love about Anthem is in every single one of their albums, their first song hits like a fucking freight train every single time. I think it would have been, although it could have been a good decision, it would not have been an Anthem decision.
Actually, that's a fair point. It would have stood out in their discography more as a weird thing.
What they've done in the 21st century when they reunited, they've had a instrumental track at about the 2/3 mark of the album in every subsequent album, and I think that's a really good spot for it. At least where they do it, because it kind of breaks up the first half of the album where it may be more aggressive, like even more power metal in their newer efforts, to their maybe a little more melodic, a little more traditional heavy metal back halves.
Yeah, I get that. All right, I've got another note here as well. So I'll just go on. "Hungry Soul" is a great song. I didn't have any notes from it, but it's damn good. It's just a perfect anthem. Like, it is Anthem. It's it's a nonstop attack. That's what they love to do, and it fits perfectly into their discography. You could tell it's them. That being said, it almost ends up being generic as a result, I guess. But it's their style, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It just didn't stand out to me as much, I guess, is what I'm saying. Blinded Pain, on the other hand, might be the greatest vocal performance in an Anthem song that I have heard. Now, I haven't heard their entire discography, in fairness. I've only heard what you have shown me. But that song is nuts. His vocal performance is insane. And I love a good, like, heartbreak ballad. And you can feel the emotion, the raw blinded pain of Blinded Pain. And that stood out to me a lot. I went back and listened to it a couple more times after my inaugural listen.
Yeah, that is definitely a special song off of the album.
It's my favorite track. If I didn't make that clear,
I could put any of the first 4 tracks up there for my favorite track. Honestly, like, it just depends on what I'm listening to. It's like I'll start the album and be like, yeah, Shadow Walk's my favorite song, and then I get to Hungry Soul, and it's like, yeah, Hungry Soul is really my favorite song. And then I go to Blinded Pain, it's like, well, this one's fucking dope. And then I get to Do You Understand, where it's just fucking basically speed metal. You get a fucking bass solo from the man Naoto fucking Shibata himself.
Naoto Shibata, yep. If I know the name, you know it's special.
Oh, yeah.
If I know the name of a fucking bassist, they're a good bassist.
Yeah, I'm a bass player, so I'm special. I get to know these things for fun. Everybody else just gets
I'm
to
a
know
vocalist, so I'm basically like the layman, you know. I don't have any knowledge of music theory, and I just sing. I just use what God gave me, you know.
Yeah,
just throw it out there. But yeah, actually, out of curiosity, could you pick a least favorite song off this album?
Could I pick a least favorite song? I probably could. I don't want to call it like a worst song, but it is a least favorite.
Least favorite, exactly. I couldn't say a worst song.
Maybe it's between Voice of Thunderstorm and Power and Blood. I think Voice of Thunderstorm gets a little bit repetitive occasionally, because like when you get to the chorus where they just say Voice of Thunderstorm like 30,000 times, and that's basically like the back half of the song. It's still good. It's still Anthem. They don't make bad music, but
they're incapable of making a bad song.
Yeah. Power and Blood, it maybe is just a tick more generic.
I think it just sounds a little goofy when they're saying it sometimes. I was going to say Power and Blood as well, by the way.
True, yeah. I think I'm just more used to the English because...
Yeah, they do occasionally say power and bread. That's not joking. It
power
does
and
happen.
bread.
Yeah. So I did pick that as my least favorite track. Altogether, though, like said, there are no bad tracks on this album. This is a 10 out of 10 album, as most Anthem albums are.
100%.
Did I have anything else? Oh yeah. So I did write down here. Power and Blood establishes dominance on the first day in prison, and I think that was just because of the opening of it. I think I was really digging the opening, and then it got a lot of like Power and Bread, and I was
it's still good. It's still a good song. Yeah. It's just probably one of the more forgettable tracks, and as that's probably something I can say for a lot of Anthem, where you have a exceptionally strong first half, and, well, not quite as good. It's still a second half that a lot of other bands would kill to have.
Yeah, that's the thing about Anthem. Even their filler sticks to their guns, like, so well that if you just heard it by itself, you'd be like, oh, that's a great song. Yeah. Like, if you didn't know that the first half of the album was where the real gems were. It's not like if you were to give someone Judas Priest Painkiller and have them start with Living Bad Dreams, they would be like, this band is awful. They wouldn't be like, this is a good song. No, they would say, this band sucks. Get me a new band.
Yeah, if you showed them only Living Bad Dreams and told them this is probably the best metal album ever made,
exactly.
They would want to institute you into an insane asylum.
Precisely.
But
if you showed them Point of Entry, and instead of showing them Desert Plains, you put on You Say Yes.
Oh God, don't fucking remind me of that song. You say yes, I say no.
That is actually wait. Be careful. Be careful.
Oh God, yeah.
That was so close to the real song that
it was almost too good. Rob, I'm sorry. Don't kill me,
Mr. Halford. Please. I don't have any money. All right, and then the note that I put for ADD on here was that the atmosphere of ADD should be used in a sci-fi movie. Parentheses, fucking metal.
Yeah.
And I stick by that 100%. You could use it in a sci-fi movie.
Oh yeah.
It'd have to be like a badass, like what's a good example? I mean, like a Starship Troopers kind of movie.
I mean, well,
but like without the comedy.
I go straight to Blade Runner because particularly because of the synth. Like I get a lot of Vangelis vibes from the synth on that, and I could be wrong, and I may be thinking of Domestic Booty, which is one of the best albums ever titled.
God.
But on at least some of these albums, the same keyboardist that provided tracks to Painkiller also worked with Anthem a lot, because Anthem worked a lot with Chris Sangarides, the producer of Painkiller.
Yep.
I just can't remember if it's the same guy.
Oh shit, you're still drawing. I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah,
He's got a gauntlet now.
He does have a gauntlet. I'm working on the spikes.
Excellent.
This poor troglodyte is getting some swag.
Well, this is a perfect representation for the thumbnail of Running Wild.
Yeah.
Oh no. The extended hand with the spiked gauntlet and the skull and crossbones on the hand.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Ooh, there we go.
All right. Do you know what time it is?
I do not, Gabe. What time is it?
It's time to play a game.
Fuck yes.
All right. So we're going to play Build a Band. The rules are incredibly simple. I am going to name a subgenre. It could be you next time, or me again. Who knows? And you're going to want to fill out a band lineup with a vocalist, 1 or 2 guitarists, a bassist, and a drummer. And if anyone happens to actually listen to this thing, throw yours in the comments. So for the inaugural Build a Band, the genre is 80s heavy metal, because why would it be anything else? So go ahead. What's your dream 80s band lineup?
Dream 80s band. I really have to not...
Or, not even necessarily your dream 80s band, but potentially just one that you think would be interesting and cool. I can give you... I've also written mine, because I wanted to throw it in also, if you want an example before you throw out yours.
Yeah, go for it.
But I might accidentally steal your guys.
No, it's fine.
All right, so to start off with, I'll do vocals last. Fuck it, I'll start with vocals. All right, so Ron Keel on vocals, just because I love the metal cowboy. Honestly, he's always interesting. He can do a lot. He's got all that range. If he wanted to do a cowboy song, he can do a cowboy song. Fuck it, why not? I threw George Lynch and KK Downing on the twin guitar.
That's a good call. I was going to pick KK as well.
My bad. See, this is what I was saying. I knew I might accidentally steal some of yours.
Great lines and all.
So yeah, George Lynch of course, Dokken fame and Lynch Mob, and KK Downing of Priest, for anyone wondering. Excuse me. I put Robert Sweet from Stryper on the drums.
Hell yeah.
That is just because I love the way that his stage presence is. Really, you could. I mean, there's so many good drummers in 80s metal, and you're hard pressed to find a bad one. Metallica. Sorry.
I think a Danish man's crying in a corner somewhere.
But yeah, you're hard pressed to find a bad drummer from the 80s. So I went with the one that I think has potentially the best stage presence of all drummers, Robert Sweet of Stryper. And for the bass, I went with Joey DeMaio of Manowar, because there are a few people that can do what that man does.
That is true.
But I will have you know, my second choice was Naoto Shibata. All right. So what are you going with? You got some thoughts cooking up?
Yeah. As much as I would love to put Yngwie in here, I know he would never work with anybody else. So
yeah, he can't work with anyone. That dude, he literally does his own guitar harmonies and then just can't play those songs live.
Yeah, unfortunately. I love it. I'd also love.
But imagine like an Yngwie plus who else? No, who would be the best one? Now we'll shelve that for the Yngwie episode. Go for it.
I'm putting Naoto Shibata on bass. I'm bringing KK Downing for rhythm and probably leads, because he does that shit. But I think that if you could get those two on a songwriting perspective together, I think you would get some of the greatest metal ever written.
There is high potential for that, yeah. Very high potential for that.
Also fighting the urge to just recreate Anthem, because I could go...
Dude, I
could go Mad Oshi or Hirotsugu Honma.
I had that same problem when I was thinking about this, because I was just like, dude, Michael Sweet's such a good guitarist, and Michael Sweet's also a great vocalist. Oh, and Oz Fox is such a great guitarist. I'm just going to recreate Stryper.
Exactly.
Bands that we already love, of course we're going to fucking do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Who would I want for drums? I'm trying to just not... It's like, my next thought is, was it Scott Travis from Painkiller Priest? It's like, and Racer X.
Yeah, and Racer X. Yeah, he was one of my choices as well. He was one of mine as well.
You know what? Fuck it. Scott Travis goes in there.
Sure. I thought about him.
Shit.
Really, the only reason I picked Robert Sweet over Scott Travis is because of the stage presence thing.
You know what? Let's keep the Racer X coming. Paul Gilbert
Oh,
with
hell
some
yeah.
decent songwriting behind him.
Yep. Exactly, yeah. You give him Naoto Shibata and KK Downing?
Yeah,
My God.
I mean, he's obviously one of the best guitar players ever. He
Yeah.
has probably, in my opinion, I think he has like the cleanest tremolo picking style that anybody has. Like I love Yngwie, but there's almost like more of a legato to his really fast runs. But like you can more clearly hear Paul Gilbert's fucking blitzkrieg attack on the fretboard than really a lot of people. Like maybe John Petrucci gets close or equals him, but and I'm sure there's some like fucking new prog guy.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Some
we can't keep up with them all.
Tattoos and looks like a fucking femboy, but
actually, here, random aside, and we can cut this out if we need to. What do you think about Herman Lee?
I think he's pretty fucking great.
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, in regards to comparing him, though, saying
I don't know enough about Dragon Force to like give an in-depth comparison, but like,
I mean, he's nuts.
I haven't heard anything that I'm like, yeah, he's overrated. Everything I've heard has been like, yeah, he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about that. I will have a Dragon Force episode someday, I'm sure. If
and
we do this for an extended period of time.
Oh yeah. So let's see. I got Naoto Shibata on bass. I got KK Downing on rhythm. Paul Gilbert on lead. Scott Travis on drums. And I got to do my boy. I got to do fucking Tim the Ripper Owens on
Of
vocals.
course. I knew that was coming.
That was an insta-lock as soon as who do you want in your dream band to be? It's like, oh, Ripper. I want Ripper to sing because he's the fucking goat.
Yeah. It's hard to choose anyone else, to be honest. I mean, easier for me because I have many favorite vocalists because they have different styles. Ripper can't sing every style.
He can't. Like the T&A album that
TNN. You're thinking tits and ass.
Tits and ass. Well, the album is ass. So
TNN was short for Tooth and Nail, which was the first Dokken album. TNN being George Lynch, Mick Brown, and my God, I can't think of. Oh,
everybody but Don Dokken.
Yeah, it was Dokken without Don Dokken. Yeah, correct. And they brought in Ripper to sing "Kiss of Death," and it just wasn't. That song was written
good.
for Dokken.
Don Dokken has one of the best melodic voices in heavy metal.
Yeah.
If we're keeping it strictly 80s, because like Ripper was
technically 90s, but
really more 90s. If we're keeping it 80s, fuck it, put Don Dokken in my band. I think that would be awesome.
Sure.
Then you have another. Granted, you have three now
another
competing
great songwriter.
As long as Paul Gilbert can just shred and occasionally contribute. Because I like Paul a lot, but just occasionally I don't think his songwriting is kind of generic.
Let's say in this fantasy land where these people got into a band, there was also zero egos involved.
Yeah, zero egos. No,
because I've put George Lynch with KK Downing. You think George Lynch would let KK Downing fucking do anything?
True. Arguably, both of our bands are going to have a situation like the Police, where it's just too many people that are too good at their craft to compromise, and then it just explodes.
Yeah, exactly. Or I mean, shit, even Ron Keel maybe. Like, I mean, he didn't get along with Yngwie.
He's not, but not
Most
many
certainly.
people do.
Yeah, that's fair. It was probably Yngwie's fault. Let's be real. Love him to death, but it was probably his fault that Steeler did.
Who knows? Who knows?
All right. Yeah. In any event, do you want to get to Under Jolly Roger now?
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
I want you. So I mean, I sort of went into my thoughts of No Smoke Without Fire right away. I was curious if you wanted to go straight into yours or if you wanted me to talk about it.
No, I can. I don't have as detailed thoughts, unfortunately, this time around. But
yeah, of course.
It was overall like that was a great album. I was really surprised with how they kind of pushed heavy metal, I guess, in the late 80s. Because, I mean, it is bordering on power metal. And I forget, what country are they from?
They're German.
German? Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And that tracks. That you get some nascent power metal in there. But
yep.
there was a lot of thrash in there, too, which I dug.
Yeah. It gets pretty thrashy. And it's a little slower. It's not... it's not Anthem. You know, it's a very
true.
different. It's such a different look. These albums are night and day different.
Yeah, but speaking of slower, I think the funny thing is the fastest song on the album, I think, is Diamonds and the Black Chest.
Diamonds and the Black Chest.
That
Yep,
became my favorite as soon as I heard it. It's like, yep, this one's the best.
That's my favorite as well. I love Under Jolly Roger, though. I think it's a fantastic song.
I kind of like with Anthem. I don't think there's a bad song on here. Like,
oh, certainly not. No, it's not bad. No, I was gonna say Raw Ride sticks out because it's not at all in theme.
Yeah, it's not in theme at all. But at least for a driving to work, and I'm trying to figure out my thoughts on the album, it was still pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Raise Your Fist may be my least favorite, but I can't. I mean, I have to imagine like
no way. That song's legendary.
I know it is legendary, but maybe I'm just being a bit of a contrarian asshole, and it's just like, well, that's their sellout song, and I know it's still good. It's still a very good song.
That's one of their most famous songs to this day.
As soon as I heard it, it's like, yeah, this is the song they play at every show without fail.
Yeah,
and for good reason. It's
good. It's
probably just my least favorite.
It's like their Warriors of the World united. Like it's their like Manowar song. Like, hey, we're all metalheads. We're together.
Yeah.
Like that's what the song is, and that's why it's legendary. That's why everyone knows it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear it as your least favorite, though. That's interesting.
I also, not by any large amount. Like it's like this is all like 8's probably the bottom shelf for 8 out of 10 is probably the bottom shelf for any of the songs on the album. And I think
I got you.
I think Razor, it may on repeated listens it may change, but from the brief amount of time that I was unfortunately able to spend with it today, that is probably actually wait no, Land of Ice.
No way, really?
Maybe. I'm trying to think back.
I've put Land of Ice as an honorable mention for my favorite, but there's a reason for it. And it's not necessarily musically; it's thematically. It's another like anti-nuclear anthem that the '80s love. And I think lyrically it's pretty damn sound.
Fair enough.
But actually musically, I kind of agree. It's towards the bottom.
And I think that's part of the problem where I'm in my car. I shouldn't look at the lyrics as I'm driving. Yeah. That would be unsafe.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
So I didn't necessarily get to appreciate that much. I was just like, how do I not die in Nashville traffic as I get back to my apartment?
Of course. Goodness. All right. But yeah, and I did put a note for my least favorite song being Raw Ride, just because of it's thematically jarring. Yeah, I mean, I guess Land of Ice it's too, if we're being real.
It's no, like, what was it, like big flopping tits that we had found.
Oh my god! Oh, no, what was it called? I'm going to tell you right now. What is it called? What is it called? Big Tits Rockin'.
Big Tits Rockin'.
by Spandex with 3 X's. My god. Name of that album that song we just mentioned came off of is Kick Big Ass, by the way.
Yeah. Spandex.
Spandex.
Unit of measurement.
Yeah, we're not going to call that like, a shout out for a band we recommend. Although it's a good song.
It's a perfectly serviceable song. It's fucking hilarious.
It's weird.
If you want a heavy metal song about big ass titties, then go for it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's definitely funny.
They're like a Steel Panther, but like somehow twice the age.
All right.
Back on topic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I had another note. So yeah, my least favorite Raw Ride because it's thematically jarring, and then added the caveat. I think all of these songs are good, if a bit unexceptional compared to their peers in the '80s. Because there were some crazy good albums that had come out by '87 at this point. And although I do love this album, I think it can't hold a candle to some of these other albums. Although being very stylistically and thematically different. Why do you think I chose this album?
I mean, like you mentioned earlier, it's the first occurrence, I guess, of pirate metal.
100%. That is why.
Yeah.
It's also it was a seminal step in the creation of power metal.
Yeah.
Just the themes and stylistically a little bit, but of course stylistically power metal is really just 80s heavy metal dialed up to 11. It's that all that neoclassical influence and all that stuff. Excellent. Check it out. It's a great album.
Yeah.
Did you have like a favorite thing about the album? Because we've said favorite songs. Did you have like a favorite
thing?
Thing about this album? I only asked because I had one that
I think it was that little bit of thrash that was in there. I think that's really what had hooked me the most, because you have like your, I don't want to say standard, but you have that base DNA of traditional heavy metal in there, but then there's that little tinge of like, oh, here's a little cheeky little thrash riff.
Yeah, a little bit of thrash in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought that was really cool.
Okay, so what I said was it kind of tricks you, and this was my favorite thing about it, where it wants you to think it's a silly pirate metal album, and then you get some actual political commentary, because Land of Ice and Merciless Game are anti-nuclear and anti-war. So it throws in some in the end there, after just talking about pirates and cannons and weigh anchor.
Can't delete that now. Fuck.
Oh, no, I wasn't watching. What happened?
I was trying to have him shoot lightning bolts out of his fingers, but
and you did it backwards.
There's an lightning bolt.
That's fine. I don't know if we were recording when we said you're not allowed to erase.
Yeah.
But if we didn't say that, here it is now.
Yeah,
he's not allowed to erase this.
If I fuck up, I fuck up. And I am not an artist in any stretch of the terms. As you can see by my fucking open AI hand here with 6 fingers and a nub for a thumb.
Holy shit, I didn't even notice there were 6 fingers this entire time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you noticed it before, I called it out.
How did I miss
Roast me
that?
in the comments.
I missed that. That's insane. Oh my lord. I can't believe I missed that. Okay. Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
Hey, it's another time.
Oh, yes.
You know what time it is?
Enlighten me, good sir.
It's time for the Virtuoso Verses.
Fuck yes.
Which will potentially be our favorite segment. So the idea of Virtuoso Verses is that we're both going to choose. Say again?
I guess he's Asian.
Oh. What if we? Oh. Damn, I was looking at my notes and I wasn't seeing what was happening.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. Virtuoso.
So the idea, yes. So the idea behind Virtuoso Verses is that both of us are going to choose a master of metal, ideally with similar styles, and put their work head to head, try to come to a consensus winner, with the caveat, of course, that they are both amazing, regardless of who it is. This could be a guitarist, a bassist, a drummer, a vocalist, a fucking producer, for all I care. Not that I would know any, to be fair. But masters of the metal genre. And I want you to pick first to influence my decision, if you have any in mind.
Let's see here. Masters of Metal. You know what? I'm gonna be basic. Let's go Rob Halford.
Rob motherfucking Halford. Legal middle name motherfucking, of course. That's a damn good choice. But who to put up against him? Do I go with... See, I have one that I would choose, but I want to save him. I want to save him to go up against Ripper. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think he holds a candle to Ripper in most places, but I think that they are somewhat comparable. But I'll save that one. That'll be a little cheeky callback later. Who do I do, though? Do I go Paul Di'Anno, even though they're not that stylistically similar, to do the Maiden versus Priest thing?
I mean, fuck it. Why not?
No, I'm not doing it. Midnight, Crimson Glory.
Okay, you'll have to enlighten me a little bit about who they are, because I'm not. Oh wait, no, Crimson Glory. Fuck, I was the one that fucking found that band, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Yeah,
Crimson Glory until
that's
you
right.
shared them.
You're right. I'm an idiot. Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, Crimson Glory had 3 albums, I believe, or 2 even. I think they came back. They did like a comeback album, maybe. So there's a lot less. There's a lot less, but that means that Rob had a lot of opportunities to sing bad things, also.
Yeah.
That they didn't have. We know that he did. There were bad things in there.
Hell, he started it with bad things.
Yeah, do we want to start this debate with Rockarola?
Yeah, that album exists, and I don't like it. Next.
Yeah, so Rockarola is Rob Halford doing his best Ozzy Osbourne impression. So realistically, it's not Rob Halford at all. We're just going to go ahead and say that one's not. That one has nothing to do with this debate. It's not really Halford. Do you agree with my consensus there?
Yeah, and I think I don't know what that is. If I'm not wrong, Rob wasn't supposed to be the singer on that album, so I think he had came in at the 11th hour and basically had to pick up what was songs that were written for another.
Oh
band.
yeah. That's true.
So
true. I can't remember. I don't have a.
I don't want to give him too much
true.
stick for that, because he's singing stuff that he's not supposed to, or that he probably didn't necessarily want to sing. I mean, not want to sing, but
wouldn't have sang.
Yeah, wouldn't have sang.
He had written. Yeah,
exactly.
If he had been part of the process of making Rockarola, it would have been a different album.
Yeah,
I guess where we're going with that.
Exactly. What the fuck is up with this pencil? That is not right. Well. It's done now.
Goodness.
Yeah, that has completely derailed my train of thought. I don't know what else.
No, it's all good because this is a format that we can just cut things out if we need to.
Exactly.
Which is excellent. Which is why I'm looking things up right now.
Teeny tiny. What is the fuck is the like?
Okay, I think you know more about music theory than I do. I don't know why I said I think. I know you know more about music theory than I do, because I never actually studied it. I just sang by ear, and that's it. But the vocal range of Rob Halford, he has a 4-octave range from C2 to C#6.
C2, that's surprising.
And Midnight's range is an E2 to a B5, which I'm sure means something to someone who studies music. Higher or lower?
So you said Rob was C2 to
C#6.
C#6. So that's 4 octaves of range, 4 octaves of range plus a semitone. And what was Midnight?
Oh, and actually on top of that, sorry, there was some more here. He is able to, with falsetto, reach the 7th octave of C, this says.
Okay, so he has 5 octaves of range, falsetto included. What does Midnight have?
That less info on him on the internet, of course, because he was a fucking ghost. But vocal range E2 to B5.
E2 to B5. Yeah, so that's definitely lower than Rob by a full octave, even in just head voice.
Gotcha.
Which I fucking doubt. He hits some fucking banshee shrieks on that.
Oh my! I mean, on Valhalla.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I mean.
So
it could be that this website is wrong. There's a good chance.
Yeah.
There's definitely less information about him in general because Crimson Glory was short-lived. They did have 3 albums, by the way. I said it was 2 or 3. There was a third, but the third one was weird. It was 1992, I think, which answers all the questions you would have had for why it was weird. The 90s were weird. But yeah, they had the 1986 self-titled and then Transcendence in 1988, which I have actually personally only listened to their first album. But Mayday and Valhalla he does hit some insane notes in those. from what I can tell. So it could be that this is wrong. This was, let's see, this does look to be somewhat of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a thread where people can post different things. A forum, sort of like a forum-based website that I've noticed here. So it could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're closer in range than that website would have us believe, but I do still think Rob has the edge, maybe.
Probably. I mean, the shrieks, man. The shrieks.
Yeah. Where I think Rob may lose out, especially as he advances in his career, is the staying power live, which, granted, we don't have any information about Midnight, because I don't even know if they had live concerts.
So Midnight tried to come back at a certain point. It's weird. So I know a little bit about their kind of history. He recorded the first albums, and then he left, and like disappeared off the face of the planet. And then eventually, they tried to get him back for a return album, which they then recorded with a different singer at the 11th hour because he had personal problems that was going on. And then they tried to have him back for the live tour, and he got a DUI right before they were going to, and they dropped him again. And that's the last like news there was about him. So yeah, no idea on that front. So I mean, we literally would have to give that edge to Halford.
Yeah,
just off a technicality.
Yeah, Halford,
we have no idea if he could still sing.
Halford exists.
Yeah. And I want to say,
I mean, props have to be.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wanted to say he died, and I was correct. He died in 2009.
Oh, okay. Well, that helps him not existing.
Yeah, he definitely does not exist anymore.
Oh no, this is going wrong.
Oh, and Crimson Glory played a tribute show as to him when he died in 2009. The more you know. So yeah, I may have chosen poorly for this one.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What do we think about tone? I think Rob Halford's tone, it fluctuates a decent amount, but on average, when he's in his high shrieking range, it's always good.
Yeah,
it's always cool. And then when he tries to do weird shit that is not that, it gets less good.
Yeah, I would agree.
When he tries to do a rockarola, it obviously is not nearly as good. But it's still not bad. He's still competent in that range and 100%. In that style. And he was competent,
especially as he went on. He got even better in that.
Yeah, as he lost the higher ranges. Tenor, yeah, I mean, my God, Redeemer of Souls, my God, Firepower.
Any of their fucking 21st century output. I mean, maybe not any, but at least in terms of showcasing how his voice has evolved. I don't think I've heard a song he sounds bad on in any of the
for certain.
Stuff. Granted, I haven't listened to their newest one. I don't know how that has turned out, but
Invincible Shield. Yeah. I also haven't listened to it. Couldn't tell you. I don't know why I prefaced that almost like I was going to say something about it, but no, I have not listened to it yet. Maybe I will. Maybe we should do that.
I mean, if we can stomach rock and roll,
anyone, we can
stomach the Invincible Shield.
Yeah, it cannot be worse than rock and roll if that's a true statement. Yeah, I don't even know where else we can go from here. We're just going to go ahead and say Rob wins. I think Midnight might have been outclassed there. I think he's an excellent vocalist, and I think if he had more time, if there wasn't whatever weird situations caused him to get out of the music scene,
DUIs and death.
Yeah. Well, before that even, because that was at the very
True.
That was in 2009. You know, that they were trying to do a reunion near that time. And it didn't work out. But I mean before, because he left the band in 91 and just didn't do anything else. I don't know what happened there, but if it hadn't happened, maybe he would have been just as much of a legend as Halford.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, Rob Halford definitely wins. I chose poorly. That's on me. You are the victor.
Yeah.
Virtuoso versus. I am perfectly fine with conceding that one. Somebody might even disagree and say Midnight's better. There's a good chance, but at the end of the day, it comes down to opinions anyway. So, opinions, assholes. All got them. All right. So, if we're to put, let's get back to the bands. All right, the ones that we were originally talking about, them being Anthem and Running Wild. If we were to put the two albums head to head, who would you say takes the cake on these two? I already know the answer and agree, but let's just go ahead and put it out there for everybody.
I gotta go Anthem. I think on the whole, I think it's a stronger album. I think they have more memorable moments, or at least stronger memorable moments.
And it just doesn't fucking let up.
Yeah, it doesn't stop being...
Until ADD, and that's the only place it lets up, but it lets up in such a cool and different way that it's fine.
It lets up to be incredibly dope and atmospheric. Like, I don't know how I could complain about that. The skull's purple now on this thing.
I saw that. I was wondering if that was on purpose or not. You can't erase it.
No, I can't.
That's permanent. It's permanent.
It's done.
Been there. Oh, you replaced the layer with purple there. That's why.
Yeah.
I see what's happened.
I have an idea.
Add a third layer.
Oh,
put
there's
it behind the
fucking
hand.
brush size. Oh God, no! What the fuck?
Oh, dear God!
Why?
Don't accidentally destroy the canvas.
Yeah, we upload this to the thumbnail, and it's just nothing because I fucked it up so bad.
It's just purple. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I agree 100%. The Anthem album is better. Of course, once again, it's like opinions. Or it's just opinions.
Exactly. You are free to be wrong if you desire.
Yeah. They're both insanely good albums. The reason, of course, I chose that album, as said before, was that it was a seminal step in the direction of power metal. And without it, I do think power metal still would have happened, but maybe not something like pirate metal. Maybe not something like a Nailstorm. You know, like there may not have been a Nailstorm without a Running Wild. You know, and I know Powerwolf was very much inspired by Running Wild. They've covered a few of their songs as a result of that. That was one of their early inspirations, was Running Wild, and Powerwolf is fucking nuts. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, imagining a world without Powerwolf, not great for me personally. I love that band. But yeah, Anthem is definitely, admittedly, a technical masterpiece in every album they do. So definitely taking the cake on that one if we had to put them head to head. But I mean, that's pretty much all I really had for this one.